ESWATINI, welcome to your 10 o'clock news bulletin. My name is Yemaswati and I will be reading this evening's news with you. Let's get started with our headlining stories. Eswatini celebrates World Mother Tongue Day. A house robber was pummeled in Gutimuleni, and a 70-year-old man was killed in Lube. Those were our headlining stories. Those were our headlining stories, but before we begin the bulletin, a message from Water Aid to all Yemaswati to continue to wash their hands, to sanitize, and to practice social distancing. You are advised to continue to adhere to all COVID protocol and guidelines. The Ministry of Education and UNESCO celebrated International Mother Language Day in an event highlighting the beauty and uniqueness of the Siswati language. The event saw the coming together of various sectors of society to uplift and acknowledge the contribution of Siswati to the nation. Speaking at the event was the Deputy Prime Minister, His Excellency Themba Masuku, who pointed out the importance of the preservation of our language in the country.
Yemaswati kwehluleka kululonza nekulivikela ngenteka ke kube khona labangevana sengithi kulonza ngisho ukuthi to preserve it kulugcina lilonza lokhu kwentwa ukuthi sive labanenge bathi bangafunza isingisi lesincane bese balibukela phansi lo lwimi uve nje asasukele umuntu angasalubuki angasalukhuluma angasacethe ngisho umusho.
Minister of Education Honorable Lady Howard voiced her wish for Swati children to be raised speaking their mother tongue.
Lulwimi lwakho ufuna kube ngiyona nto utiqhenya ngayo kakhulu ngoba ngisuka nje la ngihamba ngiya eFrance nako sebayasibuta siphume emaveni lahlukene sebayasho yini lokhu bayasho ngelwimi lwakho bayasho soyafika wena liswati soyasinata ngoba umuntu unasangasayathi answer umbona ngekusihleka kahleki sekulukhulu yasinata.
While the Principal Secretary at UNESCO highlighted the strides made by the country to strengthen the presence of Siswati in the country, she also voiced her hope for the Siswati language to be incorporated into modern technology. Reporting for Channel Yemaswati News, Abongile Mabuza, Wazandile Mpapane, Ezulwini. Marked a very special day for students at the Limkokwing University of Technology. The graduating class of 2022 donned their best outfits, and it was caps and capes galore, with our very own Gina Madonsela delivering the valedictorian speech.
It was a joyous occasion today for Eswatini Limkokwing of Creative Technology students, as today marks their 9th graduation ceremony, which was held at Sitwashini. And excitement was the order of the day. The representative of the Minister for Education, Honorable Harris Bulunga, mentioned that to minimize the spread of COVID-19, the university adopted means to curb the spread while students continue with their learning through innovative ways.
Limkokwing University continues to make great strides towards the empowerment of the youth in Eswatini's socio-economic development. This despite the challenges imposed by the COVID-19 pandemic. Amongst its strengths, this institution promotes and nurtures graduates' abilities to be self-motivated and to also be innovative while achieving this.
Ciniwe Fagutse, the representative of the chair of the Limkokwing board, Prince Hlangu Sembi, stated that the challenges faced by the education sector have called for adjustment and further commended students for being able to achieve their dreams through the circumstances.
Council is very proud, therefore, that true to the university education philosophy, our students' innovative and creative instincts immediately kicked in and fell into action, thus ensuring that the adaptation to these new ways was seamless. Hence, they have succeeded and are here graduating today. Class of 2021, you have indeed made it. You have shown that indeed you are the best, just like the song we just sang.
Gcina Madonsela, who is also an employee of Channel Yemaswati, expressed his heartfelt gratitude to parents for the support as they continue with their studies.
The journey towards graduation wasn't easy for all of us, but we were able to make it through with the help of our support systems. Our parents, guardians, classmates, lecturers, all pitched in to make today's celebration possible. And for that, we are eternally grateful to all of them. The support we received had an even greater impact because we chose to put in the hard work, which has resulted in our graduation today.
I am Zandile Mpapane for Channel Yemaswati News, ESWATINI.
The Youth Enterprise Revolving Fund and UNESWA officially opened a program to help youth hopeful to receive funding, improve their ability to create more sustainable business plans. The Youth Enterprise Revolving Fund, in partnership with UNESCO, officially opened their program aimed at teaching youth registered with the fund to develop business plans. CEO of the Revolving Fund, Yemaswati, stated that the initiative is a response to the high amount of poor business plans submitted by youth hopeful to receive funding.
One of the causes for the low success rate is the poor business plans presented by our applicants. While some of the ideas are found of sound and of good potential, they are often not well planned and packaged. It is for this reason that as a fund, together with the University of Eswatini, we partnered to develop this program and train those applicants on how to better develop the business plans. The aim is to help you aspiring entrepreneurs to revise your business plans and submit to the Youth Fund.
University of Swaziland would like to thank the Youth Fund for giving us the opportunity to actually collaborate with them and interact with young people who have actually applied for the fund. The university is purposed to share knowledge with the country.
I am touched kakhulu ngale vision yabo. If I recall very well, His Majesty King Mswati III says, in 2022, the country will prioritize issues of the youth empowerment.
The program is set to run over the course of the week, with the last session happening on Friday. Reporting for Channel Yemaswati News, Abongile Mabuza with Linda Shongwe, Baban. The Youth Enterprise Revolving Fund and UNESWA officially opened a program to help youth hopeful to receive funding, improve their ability to. The former Prime Minister Absalom Themba Dlamini announced the launch of his autobiography, set to be released to the public this coming Wednesday. The former Prime Minister says that the book will serve as a source of inspiration to youth around the country.
The former Prime Minister Dr. Absalom Themba Dlamini and the current Managing Director for TBA Dagangwane will be launching his book on Wednesday, an event which will be staged at the Shama House at Ezulwini. A book titled The Future That Came Early was written by Pastor Victor MacDonald after having agreements with the former Prime Minister. Dr. Absalom Themba Dlamini stated that the details contained in the book are to be a mirror that the youth need to reflect on and live their life in a good manner so that they can secure their future aspirations, especially prioritizing education.
This was to do with planning. What I wanted to be, of course, my mother was pushing me to go to school. Because at school, that is where I will get benefits. She even said,
COVID-19, and it was printed in Nigeria by Ultimate Printers and Publishers. And I know some of you may ask why Nigeria.
This event will be staged at the Shama House at ESWATINI of a book that contains a lot of details which will be useful to the youth. Channel Yemaswati News, Ninda Shon, Abong Lemabuza, Raviles, ESWATINI.
The office of the principal at Ngozini High was petrol bombed by unknown attackers. Now, this wouldn't be the first time the school was attacked, as previously the administration block on the school's premises was set alight in an arsonist attack.
The school was being attacked for the second time after it was attacked by arsonists last year when they burnt down an administration block. This time the arsonists burnt down the principal's office in the early hours on Monday. However, teachers who stayed closer to the school responded quickly to the fire and extinguished it before it destroyed everything.
Nkulunkulu wami siyakhala kakhulu ukuthi lo lokwenteka kokwentekelani kuvisana buhlungu kakhulu impela ngoba njengoba nje kubonakala ungathi sekubhekiswe kulabantwana abangaphumeleli ukuthi baqedele lama exams abo nayo into lebuhlungu kakhulu nje indaba lemiqondo lokhaliphile bakubuka ngalelo liso ukuthi ungathi sekufuna ukuthi konakalele labantwana kanti phela abantwana noma kukuphi bantwana ngumlibalo ya empili asiva ukuthi nase babulala umlibalo ya empili laba kwendako bathi ke siyaphi sisive seMaswati lokho nje lokubuhlungu kakhulu empeleni ngoba nesizathu sekuthi kwentekelani asathi empeleni.
Ingabe nyalo seyithini incubeka phambili yaso kwesikole nokuthi bantwana nibatshela kuthini emaphapha kuzabuye phasi?
Bekusede se lesi batshele kona kepha ke lo kududutanako ukuthi kwabona abantwana sebakhona lokusho ukuthi kulabantu ukuthi bekunene sesibonile lokuthi nine nifuna konisa thine sisengakatholi lutho nine nenta nje senine-certificate 10 ngakho asenisiyekele siqhubeke siyembili noko-ke angifuni ukuqala emanga njengoba ngimile nje la besengakase sihlangane nabantwana kule simo lesikhona kepha nje-ke emihleni lendlulile nasihlangana nabo sikukhulumile lokuthi bantwana ababuke umsebenzi wabo ukuthi babe nenqubekela phambili hayi kunaka abantu lese baphumelele bona.
For Yemaswati Channel, I'm Kerry Carlos, Ngozini.
Ad break. Now, before we get back into the bulletin, a reminder from WaterAid to all Yemaswati to continue to wash your hands, to sanitize, and to practice social distancing. Yemaswati are encouraged to do all that they can to continue to fight against COVID-19. Let's get right back into our bulletin with this story. Now, mob justice strikes again in Gwaluseni after a failed attempt at a robbing caught a man pummeled by his community.
The guy is said to have arrived at the homestead at Luve and jumped over the fence, then asked for a home that is not even around the area. A lady that was around the home then went to fetch a slash. That is when the woman told the man to show her how he entered the home. The man confessed he jumped over the fence.
Dr. Mkhulu wathena yebo ngathi okay kwekanje ungene kuphi ngoba phela emagede akhiyiwe wathi yena weqile ngathi asositshengisa ke la ungene khona sabe sihamba naye ke simkhanga bobhusha simkhanga etinsimbi simkhanga bobhusha hayi wafike
akhwangwe mathupha
ngimathupha hayi wathi mafika apha egedeni wathi uyaqanqa sabe simdzilita sathi okay siyabonga hlala phasi wathi ke yena manje ke hayi cha simvulele eligede sathi kude eligede sitalivulala sine sifuna wena usitshele ukuthi uthunywe ngibani lana wathi yena kude la mthumi ngathi no hayi kude inkiyake ebhudu satochaza hayi sabe sichubeka simkha futhi kwathi kusenjalo sashayela amaphoyisa emango
bobani isikhathi lapha
bo 29 lapho kwathi kusenjalo sashayela amaphoyisa emango ngashayela nangumakhelwane wami nangu cha wathathe etulu bedake-ke emaphoyisa emango nawo angena kakhulu kuye amshaya hayi wathi yena manje-ke bathi te akatofuna imali la ngathi imali wathi yena yebo imali ngathi mina uthunywe ngibani wala kusho ukuthi uthunywe ngibani sachubeka naye kakhulu kunakuqala sathi liqiniso ukuthi alikhipha hayi wasuke lapho wala khipha liqiniso sagcina sesishayile emaphoyisa afika emaphoyisa amthatha ahamba naye lengakucela nje esiveni sasemkhiweni esigodini saselawini abangixolele bekunene imali anginayo yaphela kadzeni
bonayo
imali beyikhona but yaphela abangixolele.
On another note, the woman has stated that she doesn't have money like people assume, hence she used most of the money to build the house. This report was compiled by Justice Lamini at Luve.
Moving on to Gwaluseni, where threats were being thrown around in a dispute between neighbors over a fence. Justice Lamini has our report.
The issue between Mr. Maparit Dlamini and Mr. Pondo Mota has been going on for a while. Mr. Maparit Dlamini appeared on this channel stating that it is not true that he sent people to shoot Mr. Pondo. This morning, the fence was found to be cut off. We spoke to Mr. George Mota, who is Mr. Pondo's brother, who stated that they suspect it is Mr. Mapariti Dlamini who cut the fence.
Asinaqiniswa lakhona ngoba kwentiwe ebusuku. Umonakalo lo endekala. Sesimangele nje ukuthi sesizawuthini. Wathi mfethu manje into lebantu lesithi bojujiwe nje la. Kuthi satibhadala ngani? Asathi.
Sesibona ungathi bese nisikile la kunalabanye ngentasi bekhona bese nibabekile.
Khona bese sibabekile ngabo nje lezi abafenisela.
Oh nesibongo.
Eli wakamothi.
Emvulane kwentekani la sosichazele nje unabe ukuthi kwentekani.
Lapha sihlushwa ngiloba bele wakaDlamini lo lapha. Ngikuthi nje ngeke ngimbite igama ngoba ngiyamhlonipha. Uyasihlukubeta kakhulu ngalensimo. Lensimo lena kwakhulunywa yajujwa emphakathini. Aphinde futhi yajujwa eTulu. Kodwa lo baba solo uphikelele lapha. Sesize sayichitha lensimo sathi kungcono ukuthi silahle lensimo etikwa lendlela esihlukubeteka ngayo. Ngilo babe loya. Kunabantwana laba mele labakhako la. Kodwa ngilapho uphethe uthi bajubela labo darati.
Nilahla njani ke?
Sasiyisakata sinika abantu
Oh.
Yebo. Ngale ngangenqa yakhe lo babe.
Zindzaba yokuthi nanibika emaphoyiseni anisedakala.
Asitakali vele, mbamba asitakali. Kodwa uma yena kuya yena ayokhala esigodweni ngathi basukumela etulu. Uyasitakala yena. Manje angade ukuthi asende njani ngoba phela esigodweni ngilapho kubalekela khona wonke umuntu. Kodwa nje thina sisitakala thina bakamotha mayelana nathi lo.
This issue is said to have been reported to the police. Mr. Maparethi Dlamini has denied cutting the fence, stating that he knows that there is a court order at that place and not supposed to be touching anything. This report was compiled by Justice Dlamini and Gary Carlos in Matapa.
A septuagenarian was reported dead after he was stabbed in the wee hours of the morning this past Sunday. Now the man was stabbed by unknown assailants, and the reasons for which he was stabbed are also unknown.
The man is said that he was in his 70s when he met his death in the early hours on Sunday, when he was stabbed by an unknown man. According to Boani Tlachago, he rushed the old man to hospital at around 3:30 in the morning on Sunday when he got a report that he has been stabbed. Tlachago said that he was still alive when he took him to hospital. They got a report from the hospital shortly about his death after they left the care of the health experts.
Kanzalele phansi phela bamkwazi asingiyamthatha ngiyaboleka imoto ngamthatha ngiyise esibhedlela imoto ayijala kasanga angimikisa ngayijula imoto ayijala kasanga ngisafika esibhedlela samfaka esibhedlela bazama ukumnaka base kufika amaphoyisa atongobuka ukuthi mina ngishana samshiya sisemakhaya sesibuya kokubuyana ekhaya kibo kanza ukuthi sekutanga mbiko ukuthi sosishila kwendeka eluve bathi ngamsandi khona ngisha angibonanga nanyazo languthola ukuthi bebabangani angizange senguthola nanyazo bebabangani kuyindzawo nje lesport angathwa khona bobhiya
into enjena advamile nikhona
no akusiko lokuvamile akusiko nanje sithuwaza umfana usena ayobulami umtsalo uqwali.
Mkhweni member of parliament Michael Masuku pleaded with the residents of Mkhweni to not use harmful tools that will later cause death.
Bantu laba siyaphila sidida uNkulunkulu noma bekakuphoqile but khulumisanani nemithetho ke ubekiwe ukuthi nakhona ubona ukuthi anisevani kuphi bita umthetho abesemkhathini wena lokho kutawenda ukuthi nananawe ngoba kubulala umuntu kulicala emhlabeni phinze kwelicala nakuNkulunkulu akafanele sibulalane ngithi nje asikike leni Maswati akithi akusikuhle kona ngiyathi inhlitiyo bathi ihlala la kushisa khona kepha nje asizame kuyikhulisha singakwendini lokunjengalokho sithi nje ngiloko Maswati akithi nje bancestele basemkhiweni sibancestele bakalukhele.
Reporting for Yemaswati channel, I'm Gary Carlos, Luve.
Residents of And now off to Mliba, where residents in the community claim to have spotted a really large snake in the Mvuleni Dam. Zandile Mpapane has our report.
Residents of Mliba under the generation, especially those living around Mvuleni Dam, mentioned that after months of silence, they have once again spotted the snake that lives inside that river. They mentioned that a number of people died and they believe that it is due to that snake, which they describe as very huge. One resident mentioned that the dam was built by his late grandfather and he cannot be certain if the snake belongs to him or anybody around the area. He mentioned, however, that the snake is very dangerous. It only targets man.
Ngeke sisho semuntu bakude lutakhuluma emanga kude utakhuluma iqiniso asiyazi ukuthi iqhamukapi nathi iyasithusa baningi lese bayibonele nyoka ngendlela enkulu ngayo akusiyo ngendlela lenkulu inhlathu ngiyadada ngingasebenza game reserve kodwa yenhlathulelana inkulu kakhulu asathi ngoba yimuntu ngoba yemdali nako kwelokhu isinkinga khona ukuthi nathi siyafisa ukuthi laba ngasitha ngale bakhona kusibambela umsebenzi basakhele ngoba bayifensele kube nepipe lamathatha inkomo kukwendeka everything nabantu bakhe ngoba lengele plan siphila ngayo lengele plan nje yakho bomkhulu yakho ngomkhulu wami lodala babe yakwa kumkhulu futhi wakababe lomunye baneke nohlukile sibonga kamabuzi ngoba kwashiwa ngubo ngoba kushiwa ngubo asathi lutho
bantu nje bebasolo balimala khona la enkelebheni Nkosi yami batholakale ke babenyule laba bekuneni baphume base babinzile sebangasakhulumi.
The residents then concluded by urging the government to build a fence around the dam to prevent the snake from interfering with the lives of the residents. I am Zandile Mpapane for Channel Yemaswati News, Mliba.
Well, that's all we have for you this evening. Thank you for joining us. But before we close this bulletin, let's have a recap of our headlining stories. ESWATINI celebrated World Mother Tongue Day today. A man was pummeled by his community in Kutsimuleni. And a septuagenarian was found dead after a stabbing in Luve. Well, that's all we have for tonight. Until next time, have a good one, ESWATINI.
This weather is brought to you by FSRA.